A better artlist, eh? What is up? What is up, everyone? Long time no see. I think it's a week. It's a very busy times, but I'm back. I'm back again. Let me quickly, I'm drinking, by the way, CCML, less sugar. Hey, because I can. Let me tweet out that the Netflix of programming is online. Whoa, this is the moment of the stream where everything kicks in. The mic OCD, the anxiety, panic attacks, and body getting overheated. It's crazy. All at the same time. And I need to deal with it. It's so crazy. Oh man, I thought it goes away after so many streams, but it's still here. It's still here, man. It's still here. Shit. And oh man, I'm gonna do a not everyone here in Discord. Let me see. Is everything fine here? The GG Cash, yo. Yes, everything is fine. The mic, perfect volume. The music, I have no clue. Let me know. My headset, noise cancellation and everything. If somebody dies here, I don't know. I need to smell because I'm so focused here, right? And I also got the leg pump today. It's Friday, I got a leg pump, that's fine. I also have a nasty chest pump from still 3 days ago. It's insane. It's a pump that never ends. It was so amazing. Alright, who's here? Nitin, what's up, man? Necrodox, Bruno, Ozma, Ibrahim Gumus. So many Ibrahims here, man. This is crazy. Uptam, Toke. New people here, to be honest. New people, new faces, man. It is what it is. I'm streaming for a couple months right now, and I see it's like in waves, right? People come in, and then they are here at streams for a couple weeks, for a month, and then they disappear, and new people come in. Hey, it's the circle of life. The circle of life. Was watching GG Cash, Nitin Rai. Yeah, man, GC Cash, okay. It's toy project, though, but this one is going. This one is the real deal. Not gonna lie, this is the real deal. Webstradef, when you sitting with the Discord open, waiting for that ping. Yes. I'm a little bit early, but hey, it is what it is, man. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait, man. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat, so I needed to stream. And I'm drinking of this beautiful Sesima. Look at this. Sesima. Less sugar though, of course. The reason why I drink this is because I think from coffee I need to pee too much in the stream. That's I already told the story, right? About the peeing stuff. Somewhere. Alright, so what we're gonna do today, basically, guys, let me oh man, I'm dying from this thing. Let me open a GitHub. Oh, confirm your account settings. This is nasty. I confirm. I agree. I surrender to you, GitHub. Look at this. Hollywood. The actor model. The actor engine. Of course, it's almost complete. I'm working on it. And yeah, it's amazing. Check it out. And DM Hollywood. I will link it in the description. I need to do a lot of stuff like documentation, all that shenanigans, but hey, first things first, right? So today we're gonna do some stuff, right? So let me open up my fancy Jira tool. Jira, boom, here it is, right? What up, Youssef? Nitin, have approved a lot through that. Hey man, if I can help, that's the reason why I'm here, right? And also I am demonetized. Hey. I'm demonetized on YouTube. Can you imagine? And I'm still here. Why am I demonetized? Because I say fuck and shit too much within the first 15 seconds. And I don't want to hassle. I don't care. You know what I mean? This advertisement is so boring. It's annoying. I hate it. You hate it. I don't make any money from it. So just leave it. You know what I mean? If you want to support me, you can go to Patreon or something. It is what it is, guys, right? So we need to do a lot of stuff in this thing. Yada, yada, yada. Hello, man. What is up? Hamesos. Dan, your nicknames, guys, please. Hey. I think the restart handling is borked. That's fine. What I want to do basically today is the child processes, right? So for the people that don't know what the actor model is, the actor model is basically, it's coming from back in the days, and it's Erlang is basically built up by that, right? Erlang, it's the actor model is that the principle of having multiple processes, multiple actors that basically can receive messages. And you basically communicate by sending messages to these actors and the non-blocking messages. There is a way to block, right? There's a way to wait for a response, but most of the time you're just sending messages and they handle and they spawn new processes. They do some stuff. And why is it interesting? Actually, to be honest, it's amazing, right? I worked for 2 years at an exchange in the crypto where we're using Erlang Elixir actually, but hey, Elixir is basically syntactic sugar for Erlang, you know what I mean? It's fine, but for distributed systems, very high concurrent distributed systems, you're gonna run into problems very quickly if you use the traditional method. CSP, correct me if I'm wrong. Why? Because you need to understand, in a concurrent distributed environment, you're receiving messages from, you're basically getting these requests from clients and from other microservices, and they're just sending messages like madmen, right? And then most of the people, then you're gonna adjust state or something, right? And the problem is if you adjust state, you're gonna have data race conditions or data corruption, blah, blah, blah. If you do not lock, if you not use any mutex or something, right? That's a problem. Then you have mutexes, and then you will have, before you know, right? Listen, the simple tutorial code on YouTube, you will have no problem. Never, ever, right? And a default API built in Python or in Golang, you will have no problem. But listen, if you work where I work, for example, at Trading Light, it's a very, very high concurrent environment where there's so many things happen, and it's big, it's huge. And if you lock everything there, you're gonna, before you know, you will never know. Things are going to get slow because locks are waiting for each other and they will never come. Just like your girlfriend. You know what I mean? So having the actor model principle is basically where you send these messages and they will handle these messages by an inbox, like a queue, and they will handle them one by one. So you're 100% sure that the messages you will receive, the message you will send, that actor, that processee will handle it without you do not need to use, but this is basically a not a correct grammar sentence, whatever. But you don't need to worry about using mutexes. Of course, if you in your actor using Go routines and such, then you probably need to protect your state. But you know what I mean, right? That's the principle. All right, Johannes, what is up, man? I need to cancel. I need to tell the cops that you are fine. I was actually sending some messages to the local authorities here that Johannes was missing, but he's back. All right, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on child processes, and also going to say that this code is basically one of the most complex, maybe it's not the right word, but one of the most advanced code I ever wrote in my whole career. I never made something so nice as this, ever. And I did a lot of things. This is insane. I'm so proud of myself. Hey, so I want to thank myself today. Thank you very much. All right, so basically what I'm gonna do is we're gonna do the child processes. So let's make an example. I also have hooks. It's amazing. But hey, anyway, let's make an example so we can test things, and then we're gonna program these child processes in and yada yada yada. Right? So how are we gonna call this? Is this child? Child prox. Child. Childs is fine. It's actually, this is so wrong. Child, this sounds so dirty. Child prox. It's so, I want to use children, but it's so bad. It sounds so weird in this, in these times. Using this word is gonna get you cancelled. Give me a good name. Child prox, whatever it is. We can rename it. Child prox. Good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a new file. I'm gonna call this main.go package main. Perfectly fine. Func main here. Cool. So basically, let's delete this, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a good name. Damn, this naming thing is so nasty these days. Foo. I'm gonna call this foo. It's gonna be a struct. And this font is so big and I have lag on my PC. I'm not quite sure what it is. I need to reboot this guy very soon, actually, to be honest. It's been spinning up for 1 week straight, and some programs are causing memory leaks or something. I don't know what it is. So basically foo is going to be a receiver, right? So we're gonna say, we're gonna make a little constructor here, new foo. Actually, we're gonna say foo actor. I'm gonna call it actor, actually, to be honest. Actually, I have the principle of a receiver and not of an actor. It doesn't actually matter. I'm gonna call it foo receiver, to be honest, because that's the parlance. So new foo receiver, man, like this. We're gonna return an actor.receiver, just like that, and we're gonna return the foo receiver here. Let's do it a pointer, to be honest, like that. So the problem is, it's gonna complain because we need to implement the receive method, func foo, of actually r from receive. Actually, to be honest, let's do foo or f or r for receiver. If this is the only problem you need to worry about in your life, you are in a luxury position, right? Nitin, I'm heading out to distributed cache stream. I was in the middle of that. Anyways, awesome content. Hey, Nitin, enjoy the stream and maybe you can catch up later on or something. All good. So the foo receiver here, we're gonna actually implement this receive method. It's very important. Receive, which will take in a ctx, which is gonna be an actor context, just like that. And then, yeah, that's fine, right? Actually, to be honest, switch MSG is going to be the ctx message type, just like that, right? And then we're going to say case. We could do two messages are always going to be sent from the engine itself. It's going to be the started message and the stopped message. So we're going to do actor started or something. Yeah, like that. And I also have hooks. So basically, need to check out the hooks example stuff, where you basically don't need to handle your started and stopped inside of this receive method. There will be an on started and an on stopped thingy, right? Default hooks. Actor started. I'm gonna do println real quick. Started, right, and stop. We don't care. Actually, this message is gonna be. Let's do this real quick, dirty, quick and dirty. All right. So then we're gonna spawn this guy. So we're gonna say. Can I boost this up? Yeah, I can. He's gonna be an actor new engine, just like that, right? And then we're gonna say e spawn. We're gonna spawn the new foo receiver, and I'm gonna give it the name foo. That's it. It's gonna give me a PID, a process ID, right? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna just print out this boy. Actually, to be honest, we're gonna send a message to it. Yeah, we're gonna do that. I'm gonna make a message here type. I'm gonna call it message because it's a message. Of course, if you spin up these actors locally, it's no problem. You can basically use any type of struct you want without the need of compiling it to proto buffers. But if you're using the remote, you can basically spin up actors on a machine port 3000, on another machine port, whatever the fuck you want, and you can communicate with them, right? easy. And I'm also going to add the cluster package, which will basically mean that they will discover each other without the need of any fancy stuff. They will discover each other, and you can basically activate and spawn actors on your cluster on every node. It's going to be amazing. So the message, we're going to say data is going to be a string. We're going to send a string or something. We don't care, right? So we have this pit, then we're going to say esend, and we're going to send a message here. Actually, to be honest, the pit. We're going to send a message, and we're going to say that the data, actually, to be honest, is going to be bar or hello, right? Something like that. Then we're going to time sleep here, time 1 millisecond. Why? Because if we don't do that, then the program will, actually, to be honest, we can select here. Just like that. Go run examples, child procs may not go. Boom. There's a go routine. All go routines are sleep. That's because the stupid select. So we're going to say time sleep. Time millisecond. Just like that. And then run it. Like that. Boom. Started. We see. Actually, to be honest, we get one message is a started message. Because we don't handle the other message. So we're going to say case message. We're going to actually copy this, paste it in here, and we're going to say that we are receiving the message.data, right? Just like that. Boom. You see. So we started and then we received this hello message. Perfectly fine. So what we're going to do basically, this is very simple mechanics, but what we're going to do is each time we receive a message, we're going to spin up another process. That's what I want to do. I want to spin up another process, and it could be very simple. We could do ctx. We don't have a spawn. We could call the engine and then spawn, right? And we could spawn another process here. You know what I mean? For example, damn, I need to. Let's paste that guy in here. Bar. Bar started. Delete this. Full receiver. Full started. Right, so we have two receivers right now. That could be two different things in your application, right? It could be a game state with a player and I don't know, something else that processes, I don't know. Hey, domain driven, right? Domain driven design is very important. It's very hot, and it's also very... It's just good, domain-driven, data-driven design actually, and the actor model is perfectly suited for that, right? Because you're gonna design your actors based on the domain they're gonna operate on, right? You could have a payment actor, you could have a checkout actor, you could have whatever actor you want. It's Hollywood, you know what I mean? The show must go on here. So let me quickly see if everything is fine here, because it's not the first time that my stream is borked. Alright, stream is not borked, that's fine. Damn, it's like I said, I need to pee once again. It's crazy, my bladder is so small, it's crazy. And I'm so afraid, because I remember this anecdote where I was streaming in the beginning of my career. And I said against 4 viewers, I had 4 viewers back then, and I said, guys, I need to pee, I will be right back. Don't leave. And I come back and they were all gone. And that's the time I will never pee again on stream. Until my bladder explodes. My kidneys just blow up. Right, so what we're gonna do, what we could do here is basically when we receive this message from wait, bar started, foo started, here is fine. So new bar receiver should return. No, oh yeah. Yeah, copy paste, always a problem, right? So new bar receiver needs to return a receiver. You could also return a producer, right? For example, look, I'm gonna show you. So bar is a struct, right? So let's say we want to do something with a message. So we're gonna say data is gonna be a string, right? So how are we gonna put this data? Because new receiver there's no way we cannot put something in here because then it's gonna bork. It's basically not gonna work. So what we need to do is we need to data. It's gonna be a string. And what you also could do is basically spin up foo, spin up bar, and send a message from foo to bar. But that's not what I want to do. In this case, I want to spin up a new actor each time foo receives a message. Is gonna spin up a bar because let's say we have one bar actor, right? And we send each time foo gets a message, it's gonna send that to bar. What happens then is basically bar is going to process that one by one. But maybe we want a bar instance for every message asynchronously. You know what I mean? That every message gets instantly processed by a bar actor. You know what I mean? That's what I want to... The endless possibilities. So we need to have a way to start bar with some initial data. So instead of returning a producer, we could return a receiver. And a producer. That's what I'm going to do. So we're going to return. And a producer is very simple, right? Look at this producer thingy. Boom. A producer is basically just a func that returns a receiver. Easy peasy, right? So we're going to return a func. Just like that. It's going to return an actor receiver. Right? Man, like I said, VS Code right now is so lagging, it's crazy. So this data is here, and then we can actually say data is going to be the data it gets from foo, right? That's fine. And things could break, right? Like I said, I'm developing this framework, this engine for everybody free to use. So things could break right now. All right. So what we're gonna do is each time foo gets a message, right? So it's gonna work. You see, we're gonna run it again. Foo started and we get an hello message, right? So each time this happens, what I want to do is I want to spawn bar. That we could already do that, right? You could see we can spawn new bar receiver, and we're gonna give it the message we received, right? What's going on here? Bar. Oh yeah, I see what the problem is. Message is just this message. I'm gonna receive message of data. We're gonna spawn that, and what we're gonna do then is this pit here is gonna be the pit of bar, right? It's gonna be the bar pit. So what we could do in message is basically in foo receiver bar pit is gonna be an actor pit, just like that. So we could say something like this, or bar pit. Why? Because right now, actually, we have a reference to the process ID of bar, so we can actually kill it, or we can send other messages to it. You could do whatever you want with it. So we're gonna do that. Received and send and starting bar or something. Starting bar. Boom. And thanks Ibrahim Gumus for the shout out to the thingy here. The you know what I mean. Okay, so bar pit. So we're gonna spawn bar. So basically what's gonna happen is if we do this right now, we should see that foo is started. Foo is gonna receive a message and bar should be started also. Please let that work. Yes. So foo started because we spawned it here, right? Then we basically send a message to foo, this hello. So foo tells us, hey, I received it and I'm starting bar with this message hello, and bar is started here, right? So basically what you could do in bar is, where is bar here? Bar started with a state with initial state of, can I please type, please, or data, right? Boom. Bar started it, yes, all fine. So, but now we have a problem, right? Because you need to understand that, let's say, foo gets a message, bar gets started from foo each time, right? So what's going to happen is, look at this. We could do... do I need to do this? Why not? Why not? So we're going to make 10 of these guys. So we're going to send 10 times. We're going to do this. We're going to do this cool. Sprintf. Message. Underscore. Percentage D from... I don't know. Why? Rohan, what up, man? Cheers to you, Rohan. Cheers on this beautiful Friday. Yeah, and by the way, guys, if you don't think it's fast, it's super fast. Look at this. Engine test. I'm gonna make it it's the fast one. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it will be. Engine test. Please let me open this thing. Boom. Look at this. Benchmark send message. I'm gonna run this thing. Boom. 0 allocation sending internally. Hey, we are not sending. We are not allocating a single byte when sending internal messages. And I'm also using DRPC instead of gRPC. What is DRPC? It's a much faster and more lightweight version than gRPC. And we use that in the remote, right? So if you send over the wire, and I have all of these cool tests, man. Look at this. I'm legit insane. I know. So remote, it's going to be the stream. I think the stream writer is interesting, right? And guys, check out this code. It's insane, right? This code is so clean. It's so good. It's crazy. I spend a lot of time with it, researching it, looking into other projects and stealing what I can and dropping what I want to drop. So we're using DRPC. Where is DRPC here? New DRPC remote client. You know what I mean? All good. So the cool stuff is that I'm building the remote with an actors, right? So I'm building my own library, the own engine with itself. You know what I mean? So what I'm doing is for each connection, I'm spinning up a stream writer. So which is also an actor, right? So if there are 10 million connections going on, it basically means that you have 10 million of these stream writers running, sending messages and all that stuff, right? It's pretty cool. Check out the code. Any progress on rafting? No, man. Raft he's rafting. He's still on the ocean. What are we doing? We are in Maine, actually, to be honest. That's where we shine. Not hooks. Damn. Child process here. Okay, cool. So we're spinning up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna spin up 10 times. So it's gonna spin up 10 of these bars and everything, right? So it's gonna boop. Process already registered. Yeah, of course. Yes, of course. Right. So you see an error here. It's telling us that the process already registered local bar. It's the pit. Yeah. How we're gonna fix that is basically by something that I introduced myself. Tags. Where do we spawn bar? Here. Spawn a new bar receiver bar, and we can actually tag it. So the pit is going to be, we're going to tag it with, actually, to be honest, a message of data. So basically, look at this. The pit of bar is going to be, you will see what the process ID of bar is. No other actor engine has that. In other actor engines, in actor frameworks, what you need to do is you just need to name your process. That's it. But I'm using Akka in production, and it's just garbage. And that's why I'm basically building this new thingy, because all my frustrations from that framework, I'm gonna make it better. You know what I mean? That's what I'm doing. Mionya, is the e-commerce series finished? It will probably continue from time to time. Like I said, I'm trying to basically mix it up, right? Mix it up and see what sticks, see what hits, see what sticks, see what people like, and move on. And this is basically interesting because I need to write this code anyway. So if I stream, I can combine the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? Yeah. So Look at this. Okay, cool. You see, so now the pit of bar is going to be MSG8, MSG, blah, blah, blah. So now we have all these bars started. You see, receiving starting bar with this message, message 2, message 3. And then we're going to see here, bar started with this state. Where is the other one? Bar started with this state. All, and you can see it's not... Yeah. It's amazing. I'm using your lib about 2 days. What lib are you using? T3B. Okay, so the problem is that I'm gonna start with one, right? So we have this example, that's fine. Let's do it like this. I know it's garbage, but it is what it is. Actually, to be honest, maybe we can use that later on. So I'm gonna do this. 1. So... Boom. Yes, fine. So basically, let's say we spawn bar. Bar is spawned, and we have a pit, right? So what's basically going to happen is that if we want to stop foo, listen very carefully. This is very important, right? If you want to learn about these things, we're going to say case actor stopped, right? This is a message we will get from the supervisor. Well, from the internally, it will send if you want to poison an actor. That's basically the terminology, the parlance. If you want to poison an actor, if you send a poison pill to an actor, it basically means that the actor will shut down, right? The actor will shut down. His mailbox will be closed, his inbox will be closed, and it will not receive any messages anymore, right? So, but before we close it, we are going to send a last message, right? Because internally we are closing. Let me show you. Internally, and they also restart, right? I'm doing a recover here, so each time your receiver, your actor is panicking, it will basically recover and recover and recover, and it will keep receiving messages. That's a cool part. So your actor will basically is panicking, but people can still send you messages because these messages are coming from the supervisor process. So if you're after couple of restarts, it's working perfectly fine. I don't know, maybe a value is online or something. I have no clue. Maybe a state is changed. I have no clue why it could be come back online. Maybe you're dialing something. I don't know. It come back online, and you can basically process all the messages as if nothing was happened. This is crazy. Can you imagine doing something this with a microservice stack? Then you need to have a Kafka queue and all that shenanigans. It's all built in. That's the beautiful, and people don't know. Not a lot of people are using this. Actually, there are a lot of people using this this actor principle, but not too many education is about this. Even the people that basically writing Elixir, they have no clue how to. They just write Elixir like they're writing Ruby, right? Akka scripted the entire thing. Yeah, I said I'm using Akka in production, and I needed to fork the code. I needed to change everything inside of this bullshit thing. Nothing is working. Their cluster code doesn't work. So I needed to rewrite everything myself because I'm using it in production. And I'm so frustrated by that. The thing, it's so big. It's so huge. It's... I don't have no clue what the fuck they are doing. It's basically a complete copy from the .NET, and you can see that in the code also, right? So you can see that it's a copy. It's not always co-idiomatic. It's a lot of industry stuff going on. I want to make it lightweight and super fast, and I'm taking the best principles of what they are using, but I'm also injecting my own thoughts because there's a lot of things like creating a pit and something with these tags. That's something they don't have, and it's something very, very useful. So basically here you can see the recover shenanigans here. But you see this is an inbox, right? And this inbox is basically from the supervising process, and it's not from your receiver. Yeah, and I have no clue what I wanna say anymore. It is what it is. Cool. Back to this thing. So yeah. So basically, actor stopped. Oh yeah. I want to show you where actor stopped is coming from. To be honest, well, maybe that's the thing. I have no clue. Where is it? Is it from Poison Pill? Engine maybe? Here. So basically if we poison a pit, it basically the registry will get the pit. And then we're gonna basically send a local message to this process, and we're gonna send a stop message. And then we're gonna shut down the supervising process, and then we're gonna remove the pit, right? And also, cool thing is, if you're, and you can test that in the client server example that's in the repo. If you start the client, you start a server, a remote, right? And they want to dial, right? Your server is 3000 and your client is 4000 port, and you're dialing to each other, and somebody goes offline. The messages, he will keep dialing. It will keep restarting until the other one comes back up, and it will automatically pick up, right? So it's like I said, it's basically, it's highly available. It's a highly available way of making things. It's basically almost an unbreakable system that will be running forever. And everybody is resilient, fault tolerant, if you know what I mean. Just sometimes it's fine to just panic. Let it panic because it will reboot itself in a better state. Alright, so the stop thingy, that's fine, right? Okay, cool. So what we're gonna do is basically, if we stop, and that's why I want to implement these child processes, and we're still not doing any internal code, we're still building this example. So, if we stop here, let's copy this thing. We're gonna say foo will stop, right? So look at this. So we're gonna send this message, we're gonna time sleep here real quick. Actually, to be honest, I'm gonna copy this millisecond thing. And then we're gonna say poison. We're gonna poison the pit of poo. The pit of poo, the pit of poo. Right, so we're gonna send a message, bar will be spinned up, right? Bar will be an actor that's being spinned up by another actor. But we are gonna basically poison foo, which basically means that foo will stop, right? So, boom, foo will stop, right? And could you imagine that this is a long-running process, right? So let's do like this. It's a very important lesson, you see? So foo is stopping, right? So the inbox shut down from foo. It's done. But who is still running? Bar. Bar is still running, right? Bar is still doing his stuff. You can still send messages to Bar, right? Even though foo is stopped, you can still send messages to Bar. Easy peasy. You can still send them, right? Because he's registered. He's just in the engine, running his thing, doing his stuff. You know what I mean? The problem is, if you do not stop Bar here, because Bar is, so in some cases, Bar could not be tied to foo, right? Bar could be a single process that can keep running. But in our case, Bar should be tied to foo. In this case, what we need to do, are we still running here? Yeah. In this case, what we need to do here is basically also call the CTX engine, and we need to poison on Bar pit, right? Foo will stop, and we need to poison Bar pit. That's a way to do it, right? So if we run this, wait, we need to also make this message here for Bar, to be honest, so we can see that Bar is also closing. What am I doing? Bar stopped, something like that, right? So, boom. You see, so foo will stop, and then foo will basically shut down Bar, and Bar will stop. And then everything is fine. Everything is cleaned up. But what if there is a better way to do that, right? I think that's why they use Erlang in telecom industry for high availability. That's completely true, Ibrahim Gumis. The problem with, like I said, I worked for 2 years for an exchange, crypto exchange, Nash.io, and they're using Elixir for everything, right? The whole stack is Elixir. Their matching engine, their matching of orders, the whole complete shenanigans is Elixir. The problem with Erlang itself is that it's just nasty to write. Let us be honest, it's a very nice language. I like pattern matching, but there are two main concerns for me, and that's the productivity in Erlang is basically not that good, right? Let's be honest. Of course, you can be a specialist and then everything. Like, what is productivity, right? You could say C++ is not productive, Rust is not productive, but by the end of the day, if you write Rust for 10 hours a day, you will be productive no matter what, you know what I mean? It is what it is. That's something that depends, right? But Erlang is just very hard to read for most of the people, very hard to find people for, right? So if you have an Erlang program and you need to find Erlang programmers, you're going to have a bad day. You know what I mean? It's going to be a mission of mercy. And then you have basically no static typing. So it's easy to write bugs. I think big programs need to have static typing. Could be a discussion, but something, that's my opinion. And you basically have no pointers, right? And you could say that's a good thing, that's true, but it's also a bad thing, right? Because if you really want to go fast, if you really, really need to go fast, Erlang is basically copying a lot of stuff. Of course, it's optimized, and I know. But hey, it's like a personal preference. I think Golang is the language of the cloud, is the language of, and it will be better and better, and more people are adopting it. Golang is basically the language for open source, because it scales well, it's easy to read, and if you have something to, if you then have this beautiful actor engine, the sky is the limit. Oh man. Nicolas Carballo, love your content, man. I am glad I was finally able to watch your live streams. Keep excellent work. Cheers from Brazil. Hey, what up, man? Cheers. Say Neymar hi to me, from me. All right. So, child processes. So what I want to do is basically instead of basically starting bar from spawning, I want to do something like I want to start bar as a child. So it basically means if bar is a child of foo and foo gets poisoned or foo shuts down, it should automatically also shut down bar. So we don't need to take care of this cleanup ourselves manually, right? So if we just spawn from the engine, it's fine. Bar is going to be an independent process, and if foo shuts down, that's bad for foo. Bar is still doing his thing. But if bar is a child of foo, and foo gets stopped, foo gets shut down, bar should also get shut down, because hey, a child without his parent is basically yeah. Well, good. Okay, cool. So how are we gonna do this? I think we should look into the context, not in this context. Yes, this context. What's going on here with all these messages? So a context is basically the context we get in here, and I still need to figure out some stuff. So what we're gonna do, also very nice, what you could do is a request response, right? And this took me, do me a favor, if you really wanna see some high level mechanics, check out the request response, because sending a message will basically fire the message asynchronously, will never block, but the request will basically wait as long as you want. You could say, hey, I wait for, if you wanna have a soft real-time process program where you want to have, for example, 10 millisecond responses or something. You can configure that, right? You could give it a context timeout, a time dot duration, how long that request can take. And the way I engineered this request response without blocking the main inbox loop, so you can keep sending messages while you're requesting something, while blocking on that response is crazy. check it out. I'm spinning up a new process that will take care of the. Man, it's crazy. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of myself making that. Not gonna lie. Check out how it works. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do here is we have send pit some functions. We could do something like this. C context, and we're gonna say spawn child. Something like that, right? What's going on here? So let me open up engine to see. So we're basically gonna spawn it in the context of your receiver, right? So we need a producer here. But we could also spawn with spawn with a config actually. Spawn child. There should be a config. Because you could also spawn with a config. That basically means you could give them how long the inbox size is gonna be with hooks. If it needs to inject hooks, yes or no. How many restarts and all that stuff. And later on we can add more config to that. Configuration. Raul, what up, man? Raul, yo, GG. Yes, man. What is up, man? How is your Friday evening for me, at least? Maybe it's in the morning for you. I don't know. Or maybe something in between. Or maybe it's night. Hey, you tell me. Spawn child. How are we gonna do this? We're basically going to. We could do something like C engine. C engine. And then we're gonna say spawn. And then we could name is going to be a string. We're going to an ID actually, to be honest, but its name is fine. Name string and also some tags here, just like that. And then we could do just p name tags, something like that, right? So that can work. But now we need to have some state, and the state needs to be saved on the context, and that's where the tricky part comes in, because although it's in the actor principle where we sending these messages one by one, actually process messages one by one, this context is being shared. Could be shared. So maybe, and I don't want to lock it. I don't want to lock it. No mutexes, man. Mutex bad. I'm gonna ban mutex. I think I'm only using one mutex here. It's in the registry because, and maybe also in the event stream, I think. Yeah. The event stream, man. Sometimes we can't. Sometimes we cannot avoid them. Mortar and Uber FX framework. I have no clue what it is. And Ankit Gupta. I don't know what it is. Mortar and Uber FX. No clue. You tell me. Tell me what it is. Tell me where I can find some information about that. Typical Friday evening, says Raul. Learning from the best. Hey, man. Thank you so much. Spawn child. So maybe I should have. What I'm gonna do, we're gonna make. It's gonna be a map, right? String pit. This is not safe, right? This map is not going to be safe. The problem is, in an ideal scenario, everything is fine. If you just spawn, yeah. But if you're going to, you know, people going to use your library, and what they're going to do is they're going to basically use gofuncs and spawn everything. As they're going to do some crazy shit with it. And then, of course, if you use... That's why I'm also testing everything with the race detector, right? Testing everything. And if I test this folder... make test, it will also build all the examples and see if something is wrong with the race condition and everything. So to be sure, everything is working pretty fine, right? The mutex is on 1980s, it is, but sometimes we cannot, it is what it is, Rohan Verma, but sometimes we cannot avoid them. And it's very slow because it's very slow. It's a mutex, guys, listen, a mutex is fucking slow. And I was testing this, I had a key writer, basically because, I cannot show you because it's already done, but in the registry, each time we send a message, we need to do a registry get, right? And we need to look up the key of the pit. But the pit is basically, if you see pit is basically, it has an address, an ID, and tags, and I need to concat everything to each other. So what happens is, if you want to concat, you're gonna allocate two times. You have 2 allocs, right? Or maybe 1. I think 2. So to fix that, I don't want to have any allocs on sending messages internally. So I want to have 1 alloc. So I used a key writer, which was a bytes buffer, and I was keep resetting that buffer and writing these keys. The problem is that I had some race conditions on that key writer, so I needed to use a mutex, and it was 3 times as slow using the mutex. So I dissed the fucking key writer, and instead of concatenating these tags, I'm basically caching this. It's the trade-off. So a pit is basically going to be, I have a lookup key here on pit. It's repeated, yeah, because we have address, ID, and tags, and lookup key is basically a concatenated version of everything. So it's basically redundant data, and especially pit is going to get sent over the wire, but it was a trade-off, right? Because right now, if you open up engine test, right, so the benchmark of sending message locally is 0 allocs, you see? Now I have 0 allocs thanks to that key. 0 allocations, no mutex, no nothing. Of course, the registry. But yeah, like I said, you cannot basically ban mutexes forever, right? Anyway, what is this thing? What were we doing? Yes, children. So we're probably going to need a mutex for this children, but that's not a big of a deal because spawning is probably not going to be that of an intensive task for most of the time. I wish Rust had channels. Rust has channels, but I think they're coming from the Tokyo stuff of where coming these channels from, or maybe the standard library also has channels. But it's of course it's basically standard. It's going to be Rust that created it itself, right? It's not a syntax. It's just plain stuff. Some Rust shenanigans, and I think nobody's using them also because they're bad. I don't know, but I know that I played around with these channels before. Do we have a new context? We don't. So I'm gonna make this, to be honest, this constructor does not need to be public. Contexts, so I'm gonna do... I'm gonna return this context here. Man, this typing, man, is so crazy. It's the lag here. So we're gonna say children. It's going to be make me a map string actor. No, just bit. Just like that, right? So the thing is now in process. What I need to do here. CTX is this. Engine pit. I'll do it like that maybe. Engine is E and the pit is going to be the pit. So let's do it like this. New context. E pit. You can delete that. That's fine. So now we have this map allocated. Yeah. So if you're gonna spawn a child, what we're gonna do is basically see, and this is where the problem is going from. See childs or children. Wait, I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna say pet is this. Because then we have this allocated pit lookup key. It's gonna be pit. To be honest, maybe you want to store it with name. The problem is if you have tags and you want to find it by tag, you can't. Right? But maybe there is a world where we want to do this, right? For example, hey, ctx child bar, right? And that will return a pit. You know what I mean? Get child, for example. Right? And if the pit is nil, you actually does not need to check that, right? Because a pit could be nil, it gives a pointer, but if the pit is nil, is no problem. The registry will get the that letter process. And I will show you later on what it is. So if you're sending a message to a process that doesn't exist, you don't need to worry. It will basically handle these messages. The dead ladder is going to handle that. It's all going to the dead ladder process. And once your process goes back up, then it will be to the correct one. Get child pit bar. So the question is, how are we going to save this? To be honest, let's take name, right? Let's take name, children name pit. And later on, we're going to have some problems with the text, but we will see how we fix that. Children name is going to be pit. That's fine. This needs to be a mutex locked. I think we're gonna see. We're gonna see how we're gonna do that. I'm gonna avoid it, to be honest. Oh, my quads are so sore. It's crazy. See children name pit. That's fine. Yeah. Huh. There would be some cool mechanics, right? So, yeah. Let's keep it simple. So now we have this children thing. So what's going to happen is, in process, but I think what needs to happen, of course, there could be a lot of stuff, right? Maybe there could be a message coming from the children to the parent when a child dies, right? When a child dies, when a child shut down, it could basically send a message. There's a lot of functionality we can implement right now. If a child dies, it could send a message to the main, to the parent, so the parent gets notified that the child is dead, and it can act upon that, right? That would be amazing. I don't think Akka has that functionality, to be honest. Why not using architecture patterns in your videos? Maybe I will. I don't know. What do you mean by that? What do you mean? This is an architectural pattern, right? A very important one, and one that a lot of people don't know about. Because it's basically completely, if you're building a simple API, or you're building a backend for, I don't know, so if you want to build the next Instagram, you're probably not going to need it if you make it simple, right? But if you want to, I posted in my Discord channel a link about a discussion about George Hotz with Elon Musk about the Twitter stack and how big of a problem they have with the technical debt. In such an environment, it could be nice, right? Where you have all these processes running. But hey. I just want to say, not a lot of people know these concepts because most of the stuff they do is very basic, right? Make a simple API that fetches something from I don't know, a cat fact or something and returns it to the browser. Something simple, right? But once you get in production, once you get into the industry as a real backend distributed engineer, it's gonna be wild, right? Back in the day, I worked for a Belgian company called B Mobile. B Mobile. And they're basically a Belgian company in somewhere in Ghent. I don't know where it was. Medel. I don't know. Next to Ghent, right? And I worked there, and what they did was they basically have they do all the payments, the parking payments from Belgium. Not all, but a lot. And also the tolling stuff, all the tolling from the trucks driving on the highways, it all needs to calculate that. So it's a lot of backend systems, a lot of small microservices doing their stuff, communicating with Kafka and doing C++ stuff and Golang, a lot of Golang. And they all need to communicate. That's where such things are getting used, right? Clean or hexagonal architecture, don't worry about that, right? Don't worry about hexagonal architecture and don't worry about clean architecture. It's a scam, right? It doesn't exist. It's a fugazi. It is. It doesn't exist. Once again, it's always when I stream, they always people come with this hexa thing. Fuck hexa. The first, it doesn't. It's not a thing. I don't know who invented that, but it's not a thing. I swear to God, before I streamed, I never heard of hexa thingy. I never heard of it. Of hexa design. Hexagonal. I cannot even pronounce the thing. It's completely cursed. You know what I mean? Hexagonal. That thing. It don't exist. Don't worry about it. Just if you need a server, you need a server. If you need a player, you make a player. If you need a book, you make a book. If you need a store, you need a store. If you want to model payments, you make a payment. You make a payment processor. You make payment processor is going to be an interface, you know, and where are you going to structure that in your project? Well, you dump everything in the same folder. You know what I mean? Because otherwise you're going to get problems. You put everything in the same folder. If you see how I designed this, right? So I have this thing, right? So I have the actor is everything for actors. And then I have the remote, which is basically everything that is for remote handling, right? It's for communication over the wire. It's on remote. And then I will have another package. Another package is for the cluster. So it's going to be another package, cluster. And in the cluster, what it will do, it will basically tie the actor and the remote together so they can discover each other and activate over a cluster. All in that folder, and there's nothing more needed. And then you have, for example, you have this types thingy. You have a types.go and you dump all your types in it. Don't make it too complex, because a Patreon subscriber of me, I do some code reviews, right? So what the hell's going on here? So I also do code reviews, and I also do a lot of reviews for my Patreons. So if you're interested, check out my Patreon. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And he basically he was doing a job interview, so I helped him with it, which is the privilege of being a top tier Patreon supporter. And he was sending me his code he wrote. He needed to do a test. Of course, his test is going to be the best test ever, because I'm going to rewrite it for him. You know what I mean? I'm helping him. Of course, I'm not rewriting it completely. I'm helping him, giving him insight. But he was making all these folders. He sent me this. And because in the test, they say, make it clean and organizable. And what he did is he was overthinking it. I think he had 4 or 6, maybe 7 Go files, and he had 4 folders. Why? Stop with your architecture. Stop it. Don't do it. Put everything in main. That's the best thing you can do. Wizard Gaming, what is this project? This is basically an actor engine, actor framework. You can find that on Hollywood. But I need to do some more... you can check the examples and I will commit, of course. Where is it? Where are my examples? They're gone. Okay. I will commit it later on. And then you will have the examples, can play around with it. Alright, so basically... hexagonal arc is not a date one thing. CI flow. Rohan tells us hexagonal. If I can read it, it's fine. Hexagonal arc is not a day one thing. Bye bye Necrodog, see you later. Don't do hexagonal architecture, improve your CI flow first. Yeah, like I said, I don't know. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about how to structure things. It doesn't matter, right? I think by the end of the day, everybody structures his projects right. I mean, the problem in Golang, guys, is that if you're going to even do hexagonal architecture, I don't know what it is, but people always told me that's some kind of a domain-driven architecture, which I basically encourage to do, right? Domain-driven, data-driven design is the best you can have in your life. OOP, stay away from that. Don't learn it. It never existed. It's bad, and we can have that discussion later on why. But it works all fine for all this simple tutorial code. You know what I mean, guys? That's the problem with all these the new programmers coming in on YouTube, learning how to program, and then are these garbage YouTubers, which basically, let us say, 80% of YouTube is completely bullshit, right? But it is what it is. They teach you all these concepts, and it all works fine. An animal, and then you have a dog and a chicken, and they all quack, you know what I mean? And they have their own barks and all that stuff, and it's cool. The problem is, if you make a large distributed system, a large code base, it's gonna be nasty, because everything is gonna inherit. You have all this inheritance. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on, and there's a factory here and a factory there, and somebody wrote something there, and it's inheriting from that, and then something happens because you don't know what the fuck is going on, because you inherit from a class you don't know what's going on, that basically also does not know what's going on, and your colleague writing that class also has no clue what is going on. By the end of the day, there needs to be a meeting, a special meeting, because you cannot solve it with Slack anymore. You cannot solve it over GitHub because it's so fucking nasty. But nobody knows what's going on. Everybody's depressed. Everybody's trying to kill themselves because it's Friday and a bug needs to be fixed, and there is something going on and nobody knows why. So there's going to be a meeting at a Friday evening at 5 o'clock because because the whole fucking Stack team decided to use OOP. So now they are dissecting every single class and every single thing where they inherit from. What is going on? Apparently, the guy that gets fired 2 years ago wrote a simple class, injected something mechanically, magically, which fucked up the whole thing. That's what's going on, and that's what's happening in all these big architectures, right? So that's why it's not needed. It is true, guys. I've been there and I've done that. It's crazy. Some people say, hey, this is... Wow, I don't know what this package is doing. It's like magic. If you think something is magic, stay away from it. Right? Sometimes, like JavaScript is basically black magic. You know what I mean? It's black magic. It's crazy. It's voodoo. Man, it's black magic. Nobody knows what's going on, but it works. That's dangerous. You know what I mean? That's very dangerous, right? Of course, you don't need to... to verbose is also not interesting for your productivity, but... hey. Okay, so basically, the last thing I'm going to say about this thing, the problem with Go and domain-driven design, that it does... Of course, Go works perfectly with domain-driven design and data-driven design. The problem is that organizing your folders is not. Is not, because you have circular dependencies, right? Because you could say, yes, I have a payment, right? I'm making a payment system. So what could be something of your DOM? You have a user, okay, fine. So you have the user, or basically accounts, right? So you have user accounts. So you have a user folder with accounts, or do you have a user folder and an account folder, or do you have an account with a user folder? Right? So you say, okay, I have users, is a folder, account is a folder, and then I have payments as a folder, right? But then you will have circular dependencies because a payment needs a user and maybe a user needs a payment, so you cannot do that, right? But then you have accounts. So a user needs maybe the account and the account needs the payment and it's circular dependencies, right? It's complete garbage. So what you do, you don't do anything and you just dump it into types. Or basically just in one folder. Give this folder a fucking name and dump everything in there and you have no problem. It is what it is, right? Because by the end of the day, how I do not care. I do not care how things are structured. Why should I care? Because if I need something like engine, right? Look at my screen. So I need something from engine. So I do this, engine, boom, and I'm an engine, right? If I need something from remote, I go to remote and I click and I'm in remote. Do I care where it is? Do I care where my files are in here, right? It does not matter, right? If I have one folder or 20,000 folders, nobody cares. But of course, your team, your PM, your project leader, your lead developer, these newbies, these rookies, they click, right? Of course, they're clickers. You know what I mean? They are clickers. They click actor and then pit. Oh, examples. Man, I cannot find this, man. I cannot find this. This is not in the correct folder. Shut up! Don't use that. It doesn't matter. Folders are a fugazi. Trust me. Because by the end of the day, you don't use folders because you search stuff, right? Shortcuts. And by the end of the day, everything gets compiled into assembly. There are no folders in assembly, so nobody gives a shit, right? And that's the last thing we ever gonna talk about hexagonal folder structure, ever. And if somebody can clip this, send it to me. Perfectly clip this stuff. Or basically cut this whole thing out and send it to me. I'm gonna reward you. So I don't need to do it. So I can make a YouTube video out of that and make sure it's in 1080p. And because that needs to be on YouTube. So everybody can shut the fuck up about their hexagonal and folder structure and yada yada yada, right? Kiss. Keep it simple, silly. Hey, that's a good one. Rahul with the facts. All right. Abstract factory of factories. It's crazy, man. Wizard gaming. Yes, really sucks. Well, JavaScript is cool, but it's the way people make things with it, right? It's like, for example, if of course, like React is cool, right? React is cool, and I like it, and of course, and Next.js. But if you see what magic is happening there, like use effect and everything, and it's like, what the hell? Use effect is getting called. It's crazy, right? And people do not know what it is, but they're still using it, but they don't know what's going on, right? So I think it's, I don't know. I like a little bit more of verbose, where you need to do a little bit more writing, but there is no magic going on. You know what I mean? Yes, OOP is hell if you ever get into a big project. Exactly, that's what it is, right? That's what it is. OOP is causing game engines to slow down in development because nobody knows what's going on, right? That's the thing. Of course, bad code is bad code, right? You could also write data, you could also write composability that bad that your Golang code will also be bad, right? I mean, and OOP can also be good sometimes, you know what I mean? It's like, what is bad, what is good, right? That's something, but I can tell you that OOP, most in big projects, and speaking from a lot of experience with it, is most of the time bad. Because people are trying to abstract. That's the problem. People are trying to abstract so many things. And why do people want to do that? Because it makes them feel productive, right? They have a function, and a function, according to the book of whoever the fuck, is telling you that your function cannot be more than 10 lines. I swear to God, you can find that on the internet. Who is telling you that? So what people do is they want to be good, right? They want to be good programmers. But instead of solving problems, what they do is, oh, look, oh, this code has is 50 lines. This function is 50 lines long. You're so bad. I'm going to refactor it. And the only thing they do is abstract it. They abstract it, right? They make one function into 3 functions, and they are the lead engineer, right? Yes, what a productive day. You did nothing, you fucking dumbass. You did completely nothing. You are so bad that the only thing you can do is abstract things. Is basically doing nothing. Is copy code and give it another name and divide it by 3. Increasing complexity, guys. A function, I've seen functions that are 100. Okay, 100 is maybe a little bit too much, but I can see functions that be 50 lines of code. A function which you basically need to scroll down, right? Like as this function. Look at this, process start. Look at this. This function. Look at this. Look at this function. How many lines it is? I have no clue because I don't lose line numbers, right? But it's a big function. You can abstract that, but the complexity will increase. And that's what people do. They increase complexity by abstracting stuff. Don't abstract. Do not do that. Of course, sometimes you can do that, but don't do it. Make it verbose. So people can read this in one line. If people want to understand what this is, people can read this in one focused scroll. But if there's functions everywhere and you need to go to all these functions, you have no clue what is going on, and you have the attention span of a goldfish, so by your 3rd function visit, you are completely lost and depressed. It is what it is. And if somebody can clip that part, that would be nice, and I have 2 videos, so I don't need to work next week. And I will reward you for these beautiful 1080p clips from YouTube. Ruan Verma. Uncle Bob never had any project manager. He was a project manager. He's a clown. Who's Uncle Bob? Lazar, what up, man? It's like, guys, this. I'm gonna look for it. Look at this. I saw something. Because we are actually this, but it doesn't matter, right? Sometimes it's Friday. We can talk. Look at this. I'm gonna how does it call this new thing in TypeScript? And I see this tweet from a guy, man. Wait, how does it call? It's satisfies. It's crazy. The only thing I satisfy is my girl. You fucking dummy. Look at this. Satisfies. Satisfies TypeScript. Satisfy operator. Satisfies color. Look at this. Here. Here. Constant palette. As const satisfies the record string color. I have no clue what's going on. What is this? What is this? And then but it's the tweet actually. It's the tweet that was so important. He made something. I cannot find the tweet anymore. It's going to be such a pain in the ass to find it. But it's like he made some simple interface, and he said, "I like the satisfy method more, the satisfy keyword more about something," and it was nobody has a clue what's going on. It's crazy. This language was already a pain in the ass, and now it's getting more painfuler with all these things. Satisfies. What is record, by the way? Why is read only used? People has no clue. Why is read only used? Nobody knows. So if my color can be a string or an RGB, people are here confused, wasting their time. Look at this, guys. People are here, dev.to, they are wasting their time because TypeScript implemented something new. Const and satisfied. People are confused. People are basically, they're in panic. They're anxious because they're satisfied. And for no reason at all, right? For no reason at all. But hey. So that's what's happening with the tech scene. That's what is happening with the tech scene. Everything is getting more complicated, right? The same thing, and somebody needs, my helpers need to start this timer right now because I'm going to say something. The next thing is programming languages. Programming language, just the same thing. Just the same bullshit. VLang, that other one, Zig. Zig language. Right? So, This is okay. I saw something in Zig that basically confused me. This. The thing with these programming languages is, again, people are abstracting, right? A lot of people, they use a programming language, they don't like it, or they have some problems with it. They have problems with C, they have problems with Rust, there's always something that they are in problem with, and they want to make something different to solve these problems. But the problem is to solve their problems, actually, and maybe some problems from somebody else also most of the time. But the problem is the syntax, right? Because there is already a pub event, and there is already all these things, and you cannot just copy Go, or you cannot just copy Rust, because then you're just a copy. So what you do is you combine Rust with Go, and then you have a new language. You know what I mean? Then you have VLang, and then all these languages, they are making their syntax more complex because everything is already taken. So they need to do special operators. They need to make it more complex, so they do not look like an already existing language. So where is this going to end, right? What about in 10 years? Because languages pop up every day, every week, every month. There is somebody creating his own language. You know what I mean? So where is it going to evolve? Where is the syntax is going to get so fucking garbage? This Rust, even Rust, guys. If you think, oh, Rust is the best, but Rust, guys, please, this syntax. Rust is okay. I mean, Rust has its place, right? I think I accepted Rust that in its place. I accepted it. I accepted that Rust has a place as a programming language, right? It's a new paradigm, kinda. Governance. There is no democracy, my man. Rust is just overly complex. Let us be honest. I cannot find every single code, the standard library. It's just overly complex. And people that disagree with me, you could. But I think Rust is overly it's complex where it does not need to be. Just to solve the problem of writing safe code. That's the same thing as teaching your kid to drive, to learn how do you call it? Drive a bike with side wheels for the rest of his life, right? Hi kid, hi son, I'm your dad, and you are so garbage. You're my son. You're so trash. I don't believe in you. So I'm going to give you side wheels for your bike for the rest of your life. Because so you don't fall and break your nose or hurt your knees or lose your teeth. Okay? That's the same thing what Rust does, right? Safe code. People are writing code since the fucking... In C, that works perfectly fine. Redis is written in C, works perfectly fine. It's the most robust key value store in the whole fucking world. You know what I mean? It's written in plain C. In plain C, where you don't even have a map in C. You have nothing. The only thing you have is structs. You know what I mean? But they make Rust for type safety. But they put it a big layer of complexity, and that's why people are not adopting it that much, because people have no clue what's going on, and people don't want to learn it because it's garbage, the syntax and everything, right? Just so you can write type safe code, that doesn't make any sense for me. It's hard, and people say, oh, you're a Rust. I wrote Rust myself. The thing is, let us be honest, Rust is unreadable. It's unreadable. I've Rust code myself on GitHub. I will show you. I will show you. Avalanche. Avalanche is in Rust. 4 years ago. 4 years ago, huh? This is kind of clean. But look at this, guys. This implement this here. Network. Here, run. Let receiver, self-receiver, clone. Okay. Clone. It's fine. I don't like clone, but it is what it is. So I'm cloning it. Yeah, fine. Cool. Let mute nodes. Fine. All right. You say nodes is mutable. All good. Receiver is not mutable. All good. Right. Thread spawn move loop. Let origin. Receiver lock unwrap receive unwrap. Read. Here. Receiver lock unwrap receive unwrap. Okay, match. I'm fine by this. Here, sample. Okay, cool. Iter map nodes get mut unwrap lock unmap handle message collect vec with this fucking shenanigans here. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on, which I actually don't. I didn't know myself what is going on. I just keep trying stuff, keep placing more hooks and things and brackets until the compiler did not complain. It took me probably 3 days to write only this to get this right. Only this took me probably an hour, right? And this thingy probably took me half a day to figure this out. What's going on? Right? Here, sample notes. Look at this, guys. Here, the Rust gurus. It's probably bad code, I don't know, but look at this. A hash map, yeah, mutex nodes, fine. Questionable. Here, iter filter. Look at this syntax. It makes no sense, guys. It makes no fucking sense. Let us be honest. And there are good stuff, right? Like this match thingy, I like that. This matching is so cool. Look at this message transaction. It's an enum thingy. Boom. I like it. Here. Self mempool, all good. I like it. I like a lot of things, right? Look at this. Like this, I like this. Responses, iter, filter, count, right? This makes sense to me, right? Iterator, then you have a filter and you do this, perfectly fine. But this, guys, there's a lot of things that doesn't make any sense. This is just garbage, right? But maybe it's my thing. It could be that it's, and I've seen much worse, right? If you want to do these iterators and all that stuff, you're gonna have a bad time. But the matching is beautiful, right? That's true. There's a lot of things that's cool. I had some guy try to tell me that Go has horrible syntax and then shield Rust. Rust does have some good stuff. Well, like I said, Rust is not bad, right? It has good stuff and it has its place. I understand, because working in C++ and C, check the streams of Sanfilippo, Alvires Sanfilippo, the maker of Redis, right? He has some simple streams nobody probably watched, but where he was trying to implement stuff in Redis, and it's just a pain in the ass seeing this guy. He don't even use a debugger, man. Oh, he uses a debugger on the terminal. It was a pain, and I don't use a debugger at all because I don't write C anymore, but it was crazy. But it has its own problems, right? And he had some problems with allocations and freeing memory and null pointers, basically null pointers actually, not null, but null pointers in C. It was amazing. And then you could think about Rust could have its place sometimes, right? But yeah. V looks cool, yeah, like I said, but do we need that stuff, right? Like Go is coming out, it's garbage collected, it's nice, it's coming with this arena, so you can basically region things and free and allocate them on the same region and all that stuff to save up a garbage collection. Processors are getting better, garbage collectors are getting better. It's not, listen very carefully, it's not because Rust or C++ are basically maybe faster. Listen very carefully, because all these videos on YouTube, they benchmark a map or something, right? Of course, if you make a map in C or a map in Rust, it will be, most of the time will be faster than Go, right? Of course, I agree. Or some complex algorithm like a binary search tree or something, benchmarked plain. But where are you using a program that just, you click yes, and it does something with a binary tree and it ends? That doesn't exist, right? In the real world, your programs are long-lived, right? Of course, if you need to make a compiler or something, I would never write a compiler in Golang. That's completely different. It's not a long-lived process. It's basically it compiles and it needs to be super fast, and it is. But most of the time, you have these long-lived processes, these distributed systems, these also video processing in the cloud, all that stuff, right? Is long-lived, and there is a lot of stuff going on, clients connecting, and messages need to be sent, and who is telling you that Rust is behaving much faster than Go? Maybe you can write bad Rust also, right? The compiler is not going to tell you that you made a simple mistake that could cause computational overhead. That's still on the programmer. So who is guaranteeing you that Rust is that a blockchain written in Rust is faster than a blockchain written in Go? Who is guaranteeing you that? Nobody's guaranteeing you that. That's no... Because there's different parts in a blockchain, there's different things that keeps running, and there is, in my opinion, a programming language will not make any difference. Because you're bottlenecked by the latency anyway. Anyway, we are getting off track, but hey, that's the stream, right? Alright, I was getting distracted by some Discord messages. My bad. Are we gonna program actually further? What, 1 hour and a half? Maybe we just need to chill out of something. Actually, to be honest. What were we doing? I have no clue anymore. These child processes, right? So what I'm gonna do real quickly. Why is my example folder not getting... I'm clicking with the mouse. May not go. This is what it is. To-do list. Anyway. Yeah, so basically want to just shut down these child processes. That's the first thing we're going to do with these child processes. Just shut them down when the parent is going down. So how are we going to do that? In process here. So... Ravirai Darishi. Hi, Anthony. A big hi from India. What is up, man? Thanks, man. Have a nice Friday. I'm actually hungry, man. I'm gonna eat chicken. Ground chicken with probably rice again. And some vegetables. Because I'm almost at 80 kilograms. Never go that. I'm actually a small guy. I'm very, very small from height, but I'm weighing 80 kilograms. It's almost lean muscle. It's crazy. I'm so yoked right now. If I do this is an oversized shirt. This is a large. This is a large. This is crazy. It just fits me. Insane. I like it. But I need to cut very soon. Probably... I don't know. End of February. I'm gonna cut to the summer. Basically cutting 8 kilos or something. 72. From 80 to 72. That's where I'm shine. Okay, cool. So where are we gonna clean these guys up? That's the question, right? So we have this big thingy. Right, you see if we start the process, we send them a message. That's fine. This is a recover thingy. Close this channel. What we could do is, if we quit, that's basically what happens. Inbox process shut down, so we will be here. That's not true. We will be here. When are you visiting London? Not quite sure, man. I like London a lot. I know, I like it a lot. I went there for a couple times, actually. London. Not quite sure. I like this other area in London that, how does it called? Where the party, where you can party at London and then, damn it. How does it called? Next to London. Oh. But it's dangerous, man. London is dangerous. I'm gonna get stabbed in the back. For sure. London is dangerous. The subway system is so amazing in London. I think my country, this poor little Belgium, they can learn a lot from that. So it's sick, man. Because we have a context here, we're gonna remove this. It's inside London, yeah. It's more of a business. I think it's more of a. Timings are crazy. What is it called? There's a specific name in London. You have. I went in London to the meeting there. How does it called? The Flat Iron in London is amazing. That's where I eat always, in the Flat Iron, man. That's sick. The Flat Iron. I think that's how it's called. The Flat Iron. You can eat meat. I'm sorry for all the vegetarians here, but the Flat Iron. Amazing. In London, somewhere in the street. I don't know where it is, but give me the name of this resident London stuff. It's more of a... Not quite sure how this thing called. Man, Lazar, are you from London? If I went in London, I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna send you a message on Discord. We're gonna eat in the flat thingy, man. In the Flat Iron. We're gonna clean that up. We're gonna clean that up, man. These 12 weeks old steaks. Well, steaks. These 12-year-old pieces of meat. Anyway, what I'm doing here, I'm gonna prosec inbox shutdown. Maybe we're gonna kill childs, right? So, not quite sure if this is the correct place, but it is a place to start. So we could do something like if context, actually, to be honest, p context. What's going on here? Children. Actually, to be honest. Is bigger than 0. So we're gonna do a log trace, and very important, if a lot of people don't know what you need to use for logging levels, right? And because you have error, warning, debug, info, and trace. And what is trace? Trace is basically the lowest level, right? So I'm using trace basically a lot, but it's also something I will disable a lot also, right? Because most of the time you don't want to see these traces, but if you're really debugging something, you will be so happy that you have all these traces, right? So you can trace what everything is happening. The same thing with this shutdown. I want to see that. I want to see, why is this important, this trace? This is the most important. This trace is the most important trace of the whole engine, of the whole fucking application. Why? Because it tells me that the process inbox is shut down. It basically means that all of this garbage we do is cleaned up. Everything is cleaned up. We closed our channel. Our inbox is closed. Everything is clean and mean here. No, we're not hanging. Everything is fine. So I need to know that. Because we don't hit this and we shut down a process, we have a leaking thing. So I'm going to copy this trace thing here. I'm going to paste it in. Process. This could be a supervisor actually. Should I do that? No, it's fine. Process is fine. We're going to say shutting down. Shutting down childs. How do you know when to use a channel? Kung Fu! Oh, how do you know that? That's a good question. If you want to communicate between... two different domains of your application, or two different stuff that's going on, right? Because you have a loop that's getting spent, and then you want to communicate that with the main loop, but it's concurrency, so you want to use a channel to basically share by using memory instead of using memory by sharing. Or is it the other way around? I don't know. You tell me, but you know what I mean. Hey, to be honest, Bjorn, listen. I'm gonna ask you another question, Bjorn. I'm actually gonna ask this question for the whole fucking viewers. When do you know, as a guy, that you need to kiss a girl? You're dating for the first time, or you're dating you never kissed before, you're dating somebody. How do you know when it's time to kiss her? How do you know that? Well, it's the same thing. I know when to use a channel. And that's not it. Kissing is just the beginning, right? Kissing is the beginning. Kissing is easy, right? But when do you know when you can go this a little step further? You know, we've all been there, right? There's a girl, we're texting, you're in love, you date, and you kiss her, and it's all good. It's magic, right? You're kissing, and it never felt so fucking good, right? And then, after this kiss, you say, yes, she kissed. I kissed her. That's done. But you're here. Your head is tickling. You know what I mean? Your spider senses are tinkling. You think, should I level up? Should I level up? And should I try a little bit more? How will she react? And what should I do? Should I touch her somewhere? Where should I touch her? You know what I mean? Difficult questions that needs to be answered. And the good thing is there is no answer. You know what I mean? It's you need to feel it. You need to feel it. You need to sense it. You need to smell it. And then it's trial and error, right? Nobody's gonna die. Nobody's gonna die if she doesn't want to be touched. When you push the right buttons, you know what? That's exactly true. One with the facts. Bjorn, you didn't answer me. Answer me. When do you know it's time to kiss a girl? When? When? Who is teaching you that? People are actually reading books, right? That's the saddest part. The same thing as I want to read a book to learn programming. Why should you? Why should you learn a book? A book is stupid. Book is not always stupid, but if a book is stupid, in my opinion, but that's my opinion, a book is waste of time if you can learn the subject by doing. Right? So how to learn how to program, how to learn how to write Go. A book is complete garbage. Why? Because you can open up your editor and try it out, right? When do I need to use channels? Or when should I do this? Or just build something and see if it works or not. If it not works, then you change something and then it maybe works. It's instant feedback. It's instant feedback, right? Go run may not go. Instant feedback. Go run may not go. Instant feedback. But reading a book in your bed, you're reading a book, very boring book. Oh, okay, I need to do it like that. Yeah, cool, this channel. And then, I can have workers and multiple channels and I need to close it and I can do this. And then range, interfaces. Oh. Wow. I have no clue what it is, but it seems amazing. And you read this book, and then you're going to start programming when you wake up and you don't know any clue. So you have this book next to you and you're reading and no, right? This is a waste of time. But the same thing, people are actually reading books, how to kiss a girl, how to seduce a girl, how to do this, how to do that, how to. Just try it yourself and see what works and what does not work. You know what I mean? That's the best how to, right? But when is a book good? Is for example something like quantum physics. I'm very into quantum physics. I don't know why. I have no clue what it is. Of course, I know a little bit what it is. It's very hard to grasp, but I'm fascinated by it because it's so magical. Because I basically don't believe that what's going on with this world. So I'm trying to figure out what actually is going on, because I think we're getting scammed from the beginning. But then you will read a book, right? Because you cannot have this feedback loop with quantum mechanics. I don't have any. I can put a cat in a box with some poison and see what's going on, but that's the only thing I can do. And I have a limited amount of cats available. You know what I mean? Before they put me in jail. Yeah. So, reading books for programming, I wouldn't do it. But reading books for everything else, also reading books, when to kiss a girl, I would also not do it. But just try it, you know what I mean? If you go to the street and you pick a girl and you kiss her, you will probably get smacked in the face, right? So that's not a good idea. So then you go to the next one, you try to talk a little bit, right? And then you're gonna kiss her, you got to smack in the face once again. So then you know that you need to be a little bit more, right? You need to be a little bit more, maybe buy her a drink, you know what I mean? Buy her a drink. Say some nice words. Hey, tell her that you watch. Tell her that you're subscribed to my channel. That you're subscribed to Anthony GG. Says, ooh. Then you can skip the kissing phase, my friends. If you tell her that you're on my Discord channel, that you're subscribed to my channel, then you can skip the Discord phase. Then you can skip the kissing phase and go directly to the next phase, which also involves kissing, but not on her mouth. Oh, a new exchange, I see. All right. Yeah. It's pretty fun, right? I miss these streams, guys. Like, in these streams, I'm unproductive as fuck, right? That's something that I need to understand. If I stream, nothing's gonna get happen, right? I would done 10 times more what I did today that I did in this 2 hours on a video. And that's what I'm doing on Patreon. So if you're interested, on Patreon, I'm a little bit more focused videos about this topic, where I try to do the implement stuff, which is basically 30 to 40 minutes, and I will do 3 times as much as now. But streaming basically doesn't get me much viewers, doesn't get me much subscribers, but it's something that I do to get in touch, a personal touch with you. And I mean, it's like, it's for the community, it's for hanging out with the boys, you know? That's why I stream. That's why I also stream different things, right? You know what I mean? It's for hanging out. It's for doing some talks, some sharing some facts, or maybe actually it's basically personal opinions, right? If it's facts or not, that's something you can decide for yourself. And to be honest, I don't really like to stream these VS Code team name. Kinda how my wife gets all hot talking Golang and active frameworks. Alex J. I can imagine she has no clue what's going on. But it is. I didn't know that active frameworks were a thing, to be honest. I thought it was basically not that much, but hey. But like I said, this is gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a good one because, like I said, I'm using this in production. Not this one, but I'm using an active framework in production. It's basically the biggest active framework for Golang is the Akka framework, but it's basically not the best. Having a lot of troubles with it, a lot of frustrations, and I need to basically. We don't even do PRs. We don't even do PRs, guys. Can you imagine? Normally, we fix something, you do a PR. We don't even do PRs. We just fork the code, have it internally, and modify it completely for ourselves. You know what I mean? Completely. Because nothing works. Like the whole cluster package is broken, so I rewrote this myself. Previous weekend, a Saturday and a Sunday, and I wrote the whole shebang myself. Yeah. Oh wait, let me do this real quick actually, to be honest, because... So we're gonna say the context children, is that bigger than 0? Then we're gonna shutting down childs. Can I do something like this? Is there a it's a log m. That's cool because I can do whatever I want. So I'm gonna say p context childs. Gonna work perfectly fine. Oof, Maximilian, my girlfriend loves if I talk about how much I hate cross-compiling to different architecture from C projects. Ooh. Never tried it before, but I also don't cross-compile. But maybe I can, because she has no clue what's going on. I can say that I cross-compile, because for her, everything what I say is true. If it comes to my job, because she has no clue, you know what I mean? That's the cool stuff, right? You can, your parents and your friends, you can basically tell whatever you want, right? You know what I mean? Hey, yo, friend, I just basically combined two constants into an N64 and then cross-compiled that N64 into a string, basically cut that in half, and now I have a cool program. Ooh, that's nice, you know? People have no clue what you do, but if you sell it to me, it's garbage, right? But if you tell it to somebody else that has no clue, you can make it as cool as possible, right? You can try that. Try that. Try something cool. Like, for example... Never mind. I would say, you could say, for example, that, hey, against a friend, like, hey, recently came across on my job is a new programming language. It has no functions and it's the fastest one in the world. And it has only 10 lines of code. And people will just believe it. But hey, yeah, this stupid Charles, man, I keep getting distracted. It's like my attention span is already... It's completely gone. I'm thinking about my proteins. And some nicotine. And pee. Actually, I don't need to pee. I needed to pee so hard 20 minutes ago. Actually, 1 hour ago. And then it went from exploding kidneys, and now I don't feel anything anymore. I think my bladder is so big right now that my blood is completely cut. My veins are completely... How do they call that? Clamped, that I'm basically completely numb from my middle to my toes. Is that amazing? So I can sit here for forever and not need to pee because I don't feel. Maybe I already peed. I have no clue because I don't feel anything anymore. It's that bad. But I will never leave the stream. I will never do it again, guys. I learned my lesson. 4 people were dipping out of my stream because I needed to pee. Those bastards. Yeah, I can do basically this, right? P engine. Do I have an engine in process myself, actually, to be honest? Look at this function. No, I have the context. Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. So we say p context engine, and then we're gonna poison. It's gonna be a string, actually, to be honest. So many lag in my. It's bad. So many lag, man. VS Code right now. Context children, something like that. I'm gonna poison. What is child is a pit, right? Child, and then it is what it is. I'm gonna do that. And basically, instead of tracing this whole thing, I'm gonna do this. Process shutting down child. Boom. I'm gonna say the pit of the child is going to be the child itself. And that's basically it, right? And maybe we could actually say the parent. So we know who's the parent, actually. And it's going to be p pit, right? The pit of the p. The pit of the process supervisor, basically. I could call it supervisor, but hey. Too many supervisors in the world already. You know what I mean? Why would you be a supervisor as you can be a god? You know what I mean? So that should be fine. You could also do a return and yada yada, but it's fine. Okay, so now we're gonna test this, and then we're gonna call it a day. Drinking some wine, getting some headish, and then I'm gonna watch The Walking Dead tonight. Yes! But first I'm gonna work a little bit more, because my girlfriend only comes home from the late shift around 11, which is basically in 3 hours. 4 hours, so I have time enough. Okay, so we have this child proc stuff. I'm gonna click it because there are too many mains. So let me run this. Go. Is it still? Yes. Right. So basically, what we do now, we spawn bar. Foo will stop, bar will stop, and that's because we basically still spawn this as an engine spawn, right? With no child context, and we basically manually poisoning bar. We don't want that. If it's a child, we are killed, the child will be killed. If you don't want that, well, then you spawn it as a separate process and not as a child. It's that easy, right? So I'm gonna delete this, but I'm gonna... Yeah, that's fine. Bar pit is also good. So I'm gonna say C engine is gonna be the context, right? So I'm gonna leave this, actually, to be honest. Can I close all these things here? Close all. I'm gonna comment this out, so I'm gonna say R bar pit is going to be CTX spawn child. This is the new spawn child. It's gonna be the new bar receiver, right? With this MSG data, right? Initial state coming from the foo main. It's gonna be bar, and then it's gonna be MSG data. It's basically a tag, which Akka doesn't have the tags, right? It's gonna be a tag. So we don't need to concatenate our pits and subpits here. It's completely garbage. It's overly complex. Is it not working? Producer is going to return a pit. That's a problem. Turn the PhD. PYD. We can't. We can, because we can do this, right? Pit. Quit this thing, then we are here, we have this pit, it's come perfectly fine. So basically what's gonna happen right now, if we are gonna do, we're gonna poison foo, and bar needs to be down. That's what's gonna happen. And if that it doesn't work, then we made a mistake. Here, shutting down child, the parent is local foo, and the pit of the child is basically local bar, blah blah blah. So what I'm gonna do, actually, it's working perfectly fine. You see? Foo is gonna shut down his mailbox, and then bar is shutting down his mailbox after we got this bar stop thingy, which is basically the stop thingy we sent, and yeah, perfectly fine, right? This is amazing. One more thing I want to do real quick in this process I don't like is this parent. Maybe I could say pit here and child here, or maybe parent here and child out. That's maybe the holy grail. Process shutting down child. Actually, to be honest, I'm gonna do pit. I think this makes more sense, right? So we are shutting down a child. The child is local bar MSG1, and our pit is local foo. I think that makes sense. The pit is in the global context. Is this on Git yet? Yes, it is. And I'm gonna basically, to be honest, I need to make a test for this more. I'm probably gonna do it after stream, after dinner. So I'm gonna test this. But I'm wondered, git add, where is my example folder? Oh yeah, we have them. That's fine. So what I'm gonna do real quick is in my make file, I'm gonna go build hooks examples. Child procs. Is that a thing? Make. Yeah, so I want to basically build all these examples when we make, and actually if we test also, Make tests, so it's gonna run all the tests, and then it's gonna build also all the examples, so we can see if something is outdated, right? If you have some regression or something, like I said, I'm gonna make this cool. I'm gonna make this good, ready for production soon. I swear to God. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make some cool examples, right? Yeah, so I'm gonna... Man, can't even type anymore. Child processes. Child procs. Something like that. And for now it's all on master, right? Of course, later on we're gonna use a dev thingy, and now it's on GitHub. GitHub. I'm so hungry, man. It's crazy. It's customizing pins. Hollywood! Training. Oh, look at this! Nice commit graph. Look at this commit graph lately. Yeah, I've been working, man. Look at this. I've been working, eh? Since January. Look at this, man. Where is Hollywood? Here. Man, is this fucking... What's going on here? Examples, man. Check it out. Play around with it. Let me know if you found a bug. Let me know, so we can make it good. Are there any questions? Any more questions I need to resolve? Concerns? Opinions you want to share with the undisputed? With the undisputed champion. The undisputed Golang champion of the world. Like I said, as long as nobody's gonna claim my title, it's gonna stay mine. I don't care how many subscribers they have, who they work for. I'm crowning myself as the undisputed Golang champion of the whole world, of the whole universe. And as long as nobody coming here to challenge me, I'm gonna be the undisputed one. This is what it is. Hey, and I'm waiting. I'm still waiting. What a character! What a gamer! All right, guys, I'm gonna dip out. I'm gonna make some food, and hey, make some cool stuff with try it out. Try to make some things. Try to break things. Let me know some feedback so we can make it good. So we can change. We can shift some paradigms basically back to. I think it's a very good paradigm. The actor model, the actor paradigm. We can educate people because it's not getting educated because nobody has a clue how to use it. Because not a lot of people use it. Because they have no clue how to use it. Because they don't work in highly concurrent distributed environments most of the time. They are just installing NPM modules. Let's be honest. And then they come to YouTube to be the programming god. Because they're installing and configuring NPM stuff at their day job. Alright. Lazar, thanks, man. Talk to you very soon on Discord. And if you're not subscribed, that's fine. It's all good. Hey, if you're not subscribed, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to see you very soon. Have a nice weekend, guys. I'm probably back after the weekend somewhere. Maybe Sunday. I don't know. We will see, man. Like it is what it is. But I will be online maybe to at least one time I'm going to stream, right? And of course videos will follow, right? Thanks everyone for watching. I'm looking forward to see you on the Discord channel or something. Jump into the Discord channel. Don't need to subscribe, but jump into the Discord channel. Because I know you're already subscribed. I gotcha. It's reverse engineering, you know what I mean? It's reverse engineering. The David Goggins of Golang. No, it's David Goggins, right? I was the George St. Pierre. Then I was the Andrew Tate. Now, I also was the Tony Sins, the Anthony Sins. And now I'm basically the David Goggins. Man, I'm a lot of people. I'm a lot of people. I don't know. I actually want to be the Joe Rogan, but I'm too... Joe Rogan is too controlled in his communication, right? Joe Rogan is... He's way too good. Joe Rogan is way too good in communicating, so I can never be Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? I can never be him, because I have a complete different way of communicating. I'm the worst communicator ever. You know what I mean? I'm the worst communicator ever. Thanks, baby. Thanks.